Hi, it's Olivia, and today we're talking about what are some troubleshooting things that I can do if I experience problems with my lesson. And you will experience problems because, first of all, is technology. And since Nearpod is a browser based item, meaning it doesn't sit on your computer, it's not saved as hardware on your computer. Since it operates through a browser, there's some things we can do to make sure that Nearpod is fully compatible. All right, so the first thing, sometimes I see teachers who see their lesson popping up, but the student's lesson is not popping up. So it is good if the teacher confirms that the teacher and the students are connected to the same internet network. That sometimes affects why a teacher is able to see hers because she's connected to a teacher's network while the students might be connected to another network. Another thing to think about is bandwidth. Typically, it takes 100 to 250 um, kilobytes is recommended per student for the platform. So if there are a lot of students connecting and the server that the school has does not is not compatible, you're going to have disconnects. You're going to have students getting kicked out, seeing that disconnect button comes up. Another issue that sometimes comes up is the amount of RAM that is available on the device. You need at least 4 gigabytes of RAM on a dual core processor. I know that sounds real high tech, but what ends up happening is a lot of devices have so much browsing history from their students that is actually taking up RAM space and preventing students from connecting to the lesson. So the first thing you can do or have students do at least once a week, and especially if you're having students go to multiple sites or they are in multiple classes doing a lot of things, that can slow down the RAM on a computer. So the quickest way is to clear the history at least once a week. And I can show you how to do that. So I'm going to go to these 3 dots in the top right, and I'm going to go down to history. And when I'm on history, I click history again. This is the Chrome browser. Nearpod highly recommends you using a Chrome browser, but if you are using a Mac device, you will definitely use Safari. And so look at this. All of these pages I've gone to, even though I'm not on the page right now, it is taking up space on my RAM, on my internal memory that's available. So what you want to do is clear your browsing data by clicking on that little trash can there. And it's going to ask you, like I said, if you do it once a week, you're going to be okay. But even as teachers, I've known teachers that have 2-3 years, they haven't done anything, clear any history or the caches on their device, and they wonder why their system is not working. So you would just say browsing history, cookies, and other sites. Definitely want to get the images and files, and then press the clear data. You're going to notice that computer is running so much better when you log into a Nearpod lesson. So we got that covered. Now you also want to make sure you have the most up-to-date browser. So when that button comes up and says, there's a updated version of this browser, you want to go ahead and use that updated version of that browser. Because just going back to the cookies and the caches, if you have those things on your browser, it can increase the download speed by more than 70%. So my friends, 99% of the problems can be solved just by giving the Nearpod device more space by providing those 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now, you might say, well, what devices is compatible? All computers are compatible with Nearpod. Again, you must use the latest version of Google that you can get from the Google Store, or just say download Google Chrome latest version, and you can get the latest version. If you're using an iOS device, iPhones, iPads, iPad Touch, running on iOS version 13 or newer. So sometimes you're going to have issues if you have older devices and they don't have the most updated version of the iOS. You're going to have problems. It's not going to work. And if you're using a Mac device, you need OS 10 or newer with the Safari browser. I mean, all of these little things just help create a sweeter environment for you, because we don't want students to struggle in using Nearpod. They couldn't connect. They're feeling frustrated because some of these technical requirements was not met. Also, if you still keep finding issues with a browser, sometimes just try another browser. Try to go to Firefox, go to Microsoft Internet Explorer. Try another browser, because sometimes the device may work better on another browser that has zero history on it if you haven't cleared the history or if you have issues there. So, lastly, the iOS app is wonderful. The teachers can log in and use the app in a Mac device or an iPad or iPhone. And the students also have the great same experience. But the Android is a little bit different. So if you are on a phone and you got that, or a tablet, and it's an Android tablet, and you you downloaded the Nearpod app. Now, at the moment, the app only supports the student experience. Teachers using Android devices with screens exceeding 7 inches. So if it's more than 7 inches in size, Nearpod highly recommends you just use the web browser. So again, if you find you're not able to connect from your Android, maybe you have a little tablet. If it's more than 7 inches, you're going to have some issues. The student version will work, because the student version is more like just seeing it, while the teacher version is the dashboard, access to all of the lessons. It will only work in the web browser. So I hope these troubleshooting tips and technical requirements will help you have a seamless Nearpod experience. Remember, if you want to learn how to make more amazing and engaging lessons using Nearpod, you can check out my online course at fearlesseducator.net. Have a fabulous week.